Hmm. One more try. And this is, we went through it beforehand, but then, of course, when you do it in real life, right. This is what we call a pregnant pause. Okay, here we go. Voila.
There we go. I'll go ahead and get us kicked off this afternoon. My name is Foster Cronin. I'm a board member here with Idaho Partners for Good. And for those of you that are new to our nonprofit, we're a group of like-minded individuals that are committed to trying to transform Idaho's philanthropic and nonprofit sectors. And we're doing this at a kind of a grassroots level because this is where we live and this is where we work. The meetings, these meetups, are really designed to help align consultants, and I think we probably also have some of our clients that are sitting on this call. Um, with the strategic direction that we've decided to take in 2025 so that we can have a bigger impact on the community. It's why we use the tagline, give better to get better. So the outcomes of today's meeting, um, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for setting the time aside. I know it's lunch, and I know that your time is really valuable. Um, but we want to try and express and have an understanding of these two expected outcomes. So even though everybody can read, I'm going to go ahead and read these two so that we can go into them a little bit deeper. One, tap the collective wisdom of our crew to inform our work. Um, and two, educate and engage our crew to help achieve the 2025 theme, which is strategic partnerships. Um, IP4G has some of the, I guess, really leading experts in Idaho in technology, in leadership, and we want to try and engage you to help us um, to build more strategic partnerships as we go through the year. Today, we have strategic partnerships that have already been developed with uh, Boise State, with Boomerang, with Idaho Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and several others. But we want to collaborate more so that we can continue to grow nonprofits that help children, families, and our community at large. You can go to the next slide.
Okay. So what we would like to understand a little bit, and by the way, my name is Brian McKinney, and I'm the comms director with Idaho Partners for Good. So we want to learn about who's here and how you relate to us and what your engagement with us right now is. So just in the chat, if you want to let us know if you're involved with us already, if you're finding out a little bit more about us, if you're already a part of our team or an NPO that we've worked with or one of our crew members, just let us know in the chat. All right, we have some coming in. On mission. Board member committed. I love the language choice. Committed. Yeah, on board. Here to learn more. Hi, Nick. Awesome. Okay. All right. Thank you for letting us know who you are and what we're here for and how you're relating to us. So we exist for a reason. And the reason that we're here today and we're going to be here is our vision, which is our communities thrive because our investments develop stronger, healthier, better equipped nonprofits. When nonprofits are strong, they are capable of doing more of what they do best. And when they are doing more of what they do best, our families and communities thrive. In 2019, a group of community leaders began meeting to design a new to Idaho approach that ensures communities and families thrive. From the very beginning, we knew we needed to build a movement based on collective wisdom, human-centered design, and continual improvement. You have joined a movement where your time, talent, and treasure will be invested in ways that lead to a bigger impact. In fact, our mission is based on our reinventing how people give, share expertise, and do greater good together. This is how we accomplish our vision. And just so you know, throughout this presentation, you're going to see some of the logos of NPOs that we've worked with and other organizations that we've helped in meaningful ways. And our values. So what are values? Values are the way that we show up, the way that we work with the community, and the way that we work with each other. They're the things that we hold tightly to, and they don't change regardless of the circumstances. And the three values that show up the way that contribute to how we show up in the world and with each other is we want to be learners. We want to be engaged philanthropists committed to getting results in lifelong learning. We have an entrepreneurial mindset. We're flexible, we're innovative, and we encourage diverse perspectives. And we're designers. We ensure end users get what they want and what they need.
So the purpose of this slide, it has a lot of information on it. And I'll go through a couple of these just so you get a better feel for where we're at. But it's meant to ground ourselves in the impact that we've had to date. So this is the founders, some information from the founders report from last year. We helped 60 or more nonprofits last year in 7 counties. We worked with 8 state organizations to give workshops. 39 philanthropists. We gave out $85,000 in unrestricted grants to other nonprofits so that they could continue to improve. We've deployed over 100 experts and consultants and those people have provided over $250,000 worth of pro bono services to the community. So it's a huge impact. And those are really in areas that meet our mission. So that includes mental health, housing instability, at-risk youth, the performing arts, military, education, and several others. What we've done with those pro bono services would include things like project and program management, strategic planning, process improvement, capital planning, board recruiting, and so much more. So the impact that our organization has had in Southwest and really across the state has been enormous. And we'd like to continue to grow that with additional partnerships. And we're going to ask at some point here, I think Blossom will talk about how you might be able to help us increase our partnerships. So I'm going to turn it over to Blossom.
Alrighty, so I'm Blossom Johnston. I'm the founder of this shindig of great human beings. And in order for us to scale and grow the impact that we've already had in the last 4 years, we have these 6 strategic pillars. They really surround this new impact model, which is what technically called an organizational effectiveness model. That's when you come around, you surround a nonprofit, and you provide them with the support, resourcing, expertise, coaching, and holding accountable. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar is really around our mission. If we want stronger, healthier, better equipped nonprofits, then we have to support their well-being over the long term. Our impact on donors, you'll hear more about that, but it's a very important part of this equation of what we call the philanthropic coin. The philanthropic coin is the one side, it's the donors, the philanthropists, and on the other side are those they give to. So it's really important for us to make sure that we're having the right kind of impact on the donors so that they can give better. Then we have the impact on the community. We are a multi-generational, multi-sector movement because that's where we really gain a lot of lift is through multi-generational, multi-sector. Visibility and leadership, this is a key pillar that we're working on, the impact on community and visibility and leadership. Those are two pillars that we are starting to work on this year. So that's our focus. They haven't been a focus because we were really trying stuff and perfecting the model. And then, of course, you can't lead in this sector unless you have your own ops and infrastructure built out and solid. So those are our 6 strategic pillars. And we're going to really drill in next to the 2 strategic pillars that we are working on this year. So this is the impact on the community by increasing multi-generational and multi-sector access to the model of organizational effectiveness. So that is one pillar. The way we're doing that is leveraging. We got amazing experts, and they have some of the best minds when it comes to how to help solution. So we want to leverage that in a lot of different ways. Then we really want to start building strategic partnerships, and those partnerships, we really want to focus in on philanthropy and philanthropic foundations. So that's one strategic pillar with our primary strategies. The other one is the visibility and leadership. So as we grow our influence, it also grows our presence and our credibility because this model needs to be accepted generally and supported by our philanthropic sector. So we're at the place where we can start scaling our proven programs and services, which is what you'll hear more about next. Empowering leaders, which I just want to shout out to Crispin, who's on this particular call. He's one of those leaders that we see in that empowering leaders strategy. And then if we can't measure our outcomes, then something's wrong. So we really want to prioritize making sure that we're measuring the right things. We have been and will continue to grow that. So into our next slide.
Well, I think that's mine. My name is Kimbra, and I've been running with Blossom and Idaho Partners for Good for a few years as the catalyst. And it is my joy to just introduce you to these 5 product lines. We are looking for ways that the community that we serve can engage with us, benefit with us, and benefit from us. So this is a tried and true experiment all the way through. Not everything we've tried has worked, but we are intentionally and continually improving what we do. And so I'm excited to take you through these 5 product lines that we have. You see on the screen there. The first one on our next slide is the Nonprofit Success Lab. And this is an exciting adventure, and I think is probably one of our most successful and easiest access points for the community to engage with us. Every Idaho nonprofit is governed by business leaders who are deeply passionate about making an impact. Effective leadership really requires skills, tools, and knowledge, but they're not always readily available within the organization. So strong nonprofits are built on a foundation of well-prepared leaders that understand governance, strategy, accountability, and quite frankly, their role. This is why we created the Nonprofit Success Lab. And you're going to be invited to join us at our upcoming April event that is going to just knock your socks off, Brian tells me. So it is a powerful resource that is really designed to equip nonprofits and their board members in particular with the expertise that they need to drive their organization forward. We do it in free workshops that are available once a month, and we're committing ourselves to closing the knowledge and skills gap that many of our leaders find hindering the success in their nonprofit. Board members play a huge role in this. So as you think about nonprofits that you love or represent, and you want to join us in this next Nonprofit Success Lab, be sure to invite the board of directors as well. So I think with that, I'm turning it over to Vicki.
Thank you so much, Kimbra. My name is Vicky Stiha, and I am the global subject matter expert for our current transformational leadership cohort. And as Blossom mentioned, we have one of our amazing leaders in the room, Crispin. So I saw you. I just want to call out to you. Our TLC is taking that professional learning that Kimbra talked about in the NSL to the next level. We're working with systems leaders who are really interested in deepening their leadership skills, knowledge, and abilities, learning about tools that they can use to work with their organizations and really help them meet their missions, move the needle on that mission. Our cohort is serving 5 nonprofit organizations. It's our plan rolling forward as well, with teams of 3 leaders, including up and coming leaders. And we're really proud of that because there are very few programs that support people who are not in that executive director position. So we want to use that multi-generational approach here. They work together through 5 months of workshops and get coaching by expert facilitators in these sessions to support their learning across a length of time, integrating the key ideas throughout these sessions. And then we celebrate this year in June with our culminating event. And I hope you'll all join us and celebrate that amazing work that they've been doing. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, I just noticed that our product line, we missed one of our products, and I think it was one of those just a slip because we are actually taking a deep look at whether that particular thing, which is our 3-year grantee program, is viable. It's something that we started with. It's the basic model that has been used globally, but we're not sure whether that has the right, whether it has the ROI for Idaho Partners for Good and our grantees. So let me just talk about that for just a second. We did Boise Bicycle Project for 3 years. We're in our 3rd year with Jesse Tree, Idaho, which we do want to shout out in later on. We'll let you know how we need some help with that one. But we will get back, the board will make a decision once the eval team makes a recommendation on whether or not that product line will continue or whether we'll pivot to something else. Okay. Now, product number 4. This is the donor side of the coin where we're trying to educate them so that they have greater impact and satisfaction with their donations. So any of you who are working in the philanthropic sector, you know that it's super important to support philanthropists so that they can give, instead of a shotgun approach, really get focused in. So we do, and these have been free in the past, 2.5-hour experiential workshops that we can do one-on-one or in larger groups. And by the time they get done with that, they have a framework for more strategic giving. It's really designed for people who give significant amounts of money and or time. So significant is very arbitrary. It's individualized. So for some, a significant amount might be $100. And for others, it might be 100,000. So we let people self-identify, and then we provide that workshop. So this is Mike Mahoney's quote from Lost Grove Brewing. I'm not going to read it, but these are the kinds of feedback that we're getting, is that they are actually starting to look at how they give now and get super focused so that it actually makes a bigger difference and their employees feel better about their giving, instead of a lot of corporate giving programs. Their employees don't have a tangible connection to the nonprofits. It's more of a shotgun, and we want them to get much more laser focused. All right.
Wow, that was a lot of information. We're going to wrap up with the fifth of our product line, and this actually operates on both sides of that philanthropic coin. We are working with community partners who invest in the nonprofits, but sometimes we're consulting with nonprofits through community groups. And either way, it is making a difference, and we're excited to collaborate with experts in their fields and be an example ourselves for the nonprofit sector. We lead by doing. We help nonprofits become systems leaders, experts in their own fields who help others then reach out and succeed. And we're monetizing what we do best. So that consulting arm, that social practice, is our social enterprise. It's one of the ways we fund our work, by offering our best-in-class tools and resources and consultants. Idaho leaders can be confident when they hire us, we're helping them to find long-term solutions that are truly focused on the end users and bringing the best in community to Idaho. So we have also offered our discovery call for free. As you are looking at ways you can engage, if you know a business that is engaging consultants, consider Idaho Partners for Good. Reach out, have them call us. Let's see how we can help in leadership development, operations, strategy, and so much more. We'd love to be a partner with you. And with that said, we're going to go, I think, to one more slide here. On the left, you'll see a screen that is too small to read. Don't worry, you're going to get this in your inbox immediately following our call today. But we wanted to talk a little bit more about the high impact foundation strategy. This is a strategy that allows us to really focus on impacting our community. You heard Blossom say earlier, it's one of the two pillars that we're aiming at. One way to demonstrate that impact is by partnering through foundations. And when they partner with us, we help their foundation money matter more. With Idaho Partners for Good, philanthropic foundations truly do leverage their investment for greater and deeper community impact. They're ensuring the grantee's long-term success through robust operational support. That's something that most nonprofits don't get enough of. And finally, we're amplifying their legacy by strengthening their investment to strengthen the infrastructure supporting the entire nonprofit ecosystem. Again, we make their money matter more. We have had the privilege of working with Sunrise Rotary Foundation for Hope House, and you'll read in the form that we have there a little bit about how we've done that and what we offer and how we're moving forward. So I encourage you to look at that and stay tuned, because there's some exciting things happening there. Now, lastly, I think the last thing I'm going to ask you for is help. I am not beyond asking for a little bit more information from you. So, Brian, if you'll go to the next slide, this is our strategic partnerships activity. And Mary Beth is monitoring the chat, so we're going to ask you to use that function. And we want to actively engage in communication and partnership with the foundations that you see on this board here. If you have a foundation contact, maybe you are a foundation contact, would you please put that in the discussion? Ask how, ask folks if you can help open doors to connecting IP4G and the work that we want to do. Be an ambassador for us. that first step might just be simply giving us a name and an email address to reach out to. Again, if you'll pop that into the chat, we'll be sure to set something up. And if you would like to host that meetup, maybe provide a location that's neutral and comfortable for everybody. Perhaps it's getting a few together and we'll get some refreshments and come have a lively discussion. That would be a great way for us to live out our values and truly make our strategic goals in 2025 come alive. So I'm hoping to see good things in the chat.
So I'm going to piggyback on that. When I was with the J.A. and Catherine Albertson Foundation, we brought together, it's probably about 20 different foundations from this region, and we brought them together for a day of learning together. We didn't go to the final step, which is exactly what this is designed to do, which really is how do we create a strategic partnership among the foundations so that they are investing in this model of capacity building for organizational excellence. So there is, it's the strategy is based on experience and how we didn't take that final step to really get the foundations hooked so that they start working differently on behalf of their nonprofits. So we all know nonprofits need funding, that's a given. But as much as they need funding, they need the kind of operational support that we can give them. Okay, I see one in the chat. Thank you. From, I think that was Marcia. Awesome. Okay, we're going to take a minute because man, did we fire hose you. So there was a lot of information and stuff that we just provided you. Come off mute or use chat, and this is a perfect time to ask those questions.
Hi, Blossom and Kimbra. This is Marcia. Thank you so much. This was very helpful. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, and I don't know if this is something, but we are working to hire a development director and also looking to expand capacity. And I know the Murdoch Foundation helps with those things. So are you saying you guys could help get us in touch with folks in these organizations, and that's why you're looking for us to share out that information? Or like where are you going with, you just want to see if you can make those connections and then help other folks in the community?
So it's yes, and what we're hoping for is for the light to go on where they go, oh, okay, we really need to be investing in capacity building for the nonprofits that we support. So right now, Murdoch is probably the outlier of that list, where it is really, they're hyper focused on capacity building. And so we're supporting and promoting their efforts. But we also want that to have a focus in Idaho with Murdoch and all those others so that they can get to know each other and start supporting capacity building across their foundations. Does that make
Oh.
sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So yesterday I was telling Crispin about systems leaders. And so this is a systems leader play. Systems leaders look at the levers in their ecosystem and identify those things that will have an outsized impact. And by bringing together some of those foundations that you saw on that list, they will have an outsized impact when they first adopt capacity building as a method for their giving. And second of all, start looking at how they might collectively support things to move the mission for organizations they want to support. Other thoughts, questions, comments? Okay, well, I think we'll go ahead and move to the next slide then, Brian.
Okay, so a lot of us, when we come into these spaces, it's because we want to get involved and we want to help. We want to lend our time, talent, and treasure, as we were discussing earlier, but we're not 100% sure how to. We want to do the things, but getting to do the things is very difficult. So I'm going to read to you a list of just a few of the ways that you can get more engaged and get more involved with us. So join. You know, there's fund development, evaluation team, our board, volunteers. There's lots of ways that you can get involved with us and use your special gifts. Our TLC celebration that Vicki was talking about earlier, 6/18, June 18th. We're going to bring all of our TLC folks together and all of our fans and friends and supporters, and we're going to need some fun help for that. Jesse Tree volunteer. We're looking for someone that has some HR experience that could perhaps lend their expertise in that area. Our BSU Impact Challenge lead. If that's something that's intriguing to you, reach out to us. We would love to be able to give you more information about what that looks like. Open doors to more consulting gigs. If you know businesses or you're a part of a business or an organization that could benefit from our consultants, let us know. Donate, of course. You know, it always takes money for all of these things to run, whether it's a little or whether it's a lot. Oops, I was going to go admit somebody and I accidentally clicked. There we go. Now we're back. Um, so there we go. So as I was saying, and then we have a 30K donor challenge that we're partaking in. If you would like to learn more about that, we would love to talk to you about that. Are you a member of a service club? Do you know service clubs? We would love to come present and talk and give them a little bit more information about who we are. Host an SCG 101 workshop for your friends, for your company, for an organization that you're familiar with or a foundation. And then also you're all shareholders. And that means that the stories that we're trying to tell, the information that we're trying to get out, share it within your professional circles. You know, we have a LinkedIn, we have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, and we make it really easy for you guys to be able to quickly share the information that others might be asking for with them. And then also don't hesitate to reach out to us if you're looking for something specific on our website or that we have an asset for as well. To finish, we have a little quote that we like to live by here, and that's do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. And that's from John Wesley. Have any questions about that long list of things, ways that you can get involved and join us? You can just drop it in the chat or come off mute.
Thank you, Mindy, for signing up for the TLC celebration. Awesome. All right, Foster asked, can you briefly talk about how consulting dollars are split and used? Kimber, you want that one or you want me to take it?
Absolutely. This is one of the most amazing things, and it's probably why I said yes to Idaho Partners for Good. And that is because everything we do, every dollar that comes in through the consulting side is split to benefit the nonprofit. So when a company comes in and every dollar they give, 60% of that pays for the consulting service itself, but 40% of it is reinvested back into Idaho Partners for Good, specifically to host products that support our nonprofit partners. So it's a great opportunity to invest and do double the good together.
Does that make sense? Oh, Mindy says my favorite part of being a consultant as well.
You know, I want to go back to that $30,000 challenge. I put it in the chat there, but just in case you didn't see it, donating that 30,000 or reaching that goal with us is going to unlock a $100,000 challenge. We are working to knock on the door to that, but that's going to unlock some amazing opportunities in 2025. So I'm excited about that one. I'd love to see us drive through.
Mindy,
We might be able, yeah.
Yeah, Mindy asked, can we do that through fundraisers? Absolutely. Any
Mhm.
way, shape or form that we bring in that last 30,000, as long as it's legal, is fair game. All right, Salome, do you want to come off mute and say something?
I can do that. And it's so good to see everybody here today. I'm excited about connecting with the Murdoch Foundation, so I'll be able to do that a little bit later today.
Thank you, Salome.
You're welcome, Blossom.
Okay, Mindy, as an ED, it's hard for me to raise donor funds, but happy to help with a fundraiser event. Mindy, you are one of our absolute rock stars over and over again. Awesome. Okay. Okay, well, if there aren't any more questions or comments, let's go on to our shout out for this crew meetup. So we always do a shout out to a volunteer that goes above and beyond, and it's our Vicky Stiha here. I don't think she realized that we were doing this, but she has joined as soon as she retired from BSU in the from the OPAL program, which is Leadership and Organizational Development. She joined our eval team and has been an amazing member and thought partner for us to be able to measure what we do. And so we just want to say thank you to Vicky. She shows up, her persona is a proponent and a capacity builder. So she oversees the TLC that we are doing right now. And we're super thankful and grateful for her participation.
Thank you. That's very nice. Not necessary, but very sweet.
Yeah, we appreciate everything you do. Okay, we're gonna now, what I need is for everybody to come on camera, and we're gonna do an activity that takes us back to the visibility and leadership pillar for our strategy this year. So if you could please come on camera, and then I'm going to give you some really specific instructions. So as you look at this screen, these are what are called personas. Personas is a term that comes from our human-centered design background. And what we do is we put together the way people want to walk in the world when it comes to the work that we do. So you can look at yourself from the philanthropy perspective and or the nonprofit perspective. But what I'd like you to do right now is to, first of all, pick one of these that is on the screen, or pick your own, but make it 1, 2 words at the most. And then I want you to change your name. Okay, so under the participants button, find yourself. And then next to your name, there is a more button. Use that and change your name to a persona. Okay. As soon as we have that, we're going to stop sharing. And then we are going to take a screenshot with everyone. I like what you did, Vicky. She's got
Yeah.
Vicky hyphen capacity
Oh.
builder. Okay. And you could be a nonprofit leader. Go ahead and put that. That's your persona, is nonprofit leader or executive. But we just want everybody to pick something in regards to the way you show up on behalf of philanthropy and or nonprofits. All right. And do you want to stop sharing for a minute?
Mhm.
All right. Okay, awesome. Okay. Hi, Mario. All right. Okay. Crispin, you want to Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right, so let's see. I'm on a Mac and I never can remember, but it is Shift Command 3. I did it!
Woohoo!
Hey, awesome. All right. I'm gonna take one more, just because I can, just because we can. Okay, one of those should work. All right. Yay! So we're gonna use those in some of our socials to let people know that who we are and why we're showing up on their behalf. Alrighty. So Brian, let's go back to our slide deck because we're winding it up. Okay, so yesterday in our TLC, and Brian, I'll let you finish up on this part, but let me just talk to what I heard yesterday. And what I'm hearing across the nonprofit sector is there's a tremendous amount of chaos, frustration, anxiety in our the nonprofits that we love. And yesterday we heard it firsthand from some of our leaders. And so we do know that there is a need for the ripple effect. And so I'm going to throw it back to you, Brian.
I am a little unprepared. I was not aware that this was my slide, so I apologize.
I will keep going then. How's that?
Keep going.
All right. Okay. So what I would like to do at this point is if you are a leader of a nonprofit, would you just identify yourself in chat for the rest of our crew so that we know who is here that is representing a nonprofit? So, okay. Cheerleader to everyone, okay? All right. So Idaho Veterans Chamber of Commerce, Wyakin Foundation, Idaho, let's see, cheerleader, which nonprofit are you? Idaho Smart Growth, Oliver's Gift. Okay, Hope House. We've got a number of people on this call that are probably going through it right now. And so what I would like you to do is, as a crew member of Idaho Partners for Good, lean in and either use your chat or come off mute and just encourage those leaders that are on this call right now. So I'm going to actually kind of I'm going to ask Paul, who's on here, so, and John in particular, if the two of you will come off mute and just get us started.
Sure. So tell me the question again, Blossom.
The question is, a lot of these nonprofit leaders on our call today are in a tough time right now, given all of the different factors. And so we want to start a ripple effect, essentially throwing a stone of encouragement, inspiration into this pond right here so that we can then take it out on our socials.
Listen to the voice of the customer, the patient, the people out there, dialogue, listen, have conversations.
Yeah, I would support that. I think that the current state of Idaho and the bigger picture, obviously, with what's going on, is that nonprofits are going to have to step up because we can't rely on government to do some of the essential work that needs to be done to help the most vulnerable in our society. And so strengthening nonprofits is going to be some way of mitigating the very negative impacts that we're going to see, and they will happen. And unfortunately, that is going to have a long-lasting effect. But nonprofits can actually help by reducing the negative impact.
I'll just echo that as saying I think it's the partnership between the people who are on the ground, who are receiving this, who are the lived experience, parting with some key people who are trying to make change. It's going to make the change we need. And I think nonprofits is the perfect sector to do that.
Mario, can I ask you to lean in on this one?
Sure. I will just, as you shared before, encourage everybody. And it's good to see so many familiar faces. And those who don't know me, I'm Mario Pyle. I'm here in Moscow, Idaho. And um, I think um, in the midst of great chaos, in the midst of darkness, and as King said, is when we can see the stars the clearest. And it would be easy to lose hope. But our country has been in much worse conditions and had much worse leadership. And we found ways to rise up. So I would um, ask people to reflect and to take time to meditate and ask themselves, um, did they get in what they're doing because of the government or despite it? And if you got in it despite it, there, we just have to continue to be more creative to find collaborations and continue to, as Paul has, be with the people. What are the people saying? What are the people feeling? What are the people thinking? Where are they struggling? And continue to resist the urge of thinking we know what people need. And I just appreciate every single one of you who are here. Because you all are represent the goodness that sometimes we forget.
Thank you, Mario. That reminds me of a quote yesterday by Michelle Pratt in our TLC. She said, "In the midst of chaos, there is opportunity." Tim, would you like to lean in?
Sure, thank you, Blossom. You know, it makes me reflect on my time as an executive director during COVID and what a difficult time that was, and recognizing that so many people kind of, you know, in COVID were like just overwhelmed by what was happening around them. But I felt, you know, being the leader of a nonprofit, that I was uniquely positioned to take my energy to try and help people through it. And so I think that we're all in a position to actually do something, to take action with the challenges that we see. And it really is too, I mean, this builds on things that other people have said, but it's through hardship and difficulty that we best come together and that we both best rise up to be the best versions of ourselves. So really, even with the theme of the year of strategic partnerships, it's under adversity that people can come together, that they do innovate, that it's, you know, out of necessity oftentimes that we come up with some of our best solutions. And so with every challenge, there's an opportunity, not to downplay the challenges that do exist, but there certainly are opportunities in it. And we just have to make the best of what we can with what we have, and recognize that yeah, there's still so much potential of things that we can achieve together.
Are there others?
You know, Blossom, I'm reminded as I step into this role that how important consistency and communication are. And I had a boss one time that says, be a lighthouse, not a weather vane. So our head doesn't need to turn every time the wind blows. We know what we need to do. And we just need to be that lighthouse that other people can find their way by being consistent and over communicating some of the simpler ideas, that we all stay focused.
Oh, I love that. Be a lighthouse, not a weather vane.
You see my lighthouse on the wall back there? It's a
Uh-huh.
good reminder.
Any other quotes like that we could use on our socials in the next few days? This is really meant to inspire and encourage and love on our nonprofit sector.
Blossom, I'd just like to say that we may not have the federal funding, but we haven't lost the wealth that we have in each other and in our community.
Mm.
To build on that last comment, Joseph Campbell said, be the light, not the light bulb. And I think a little humor is always good. My favorite t-shirt recently was, sometimes I laugh so hard the tears run down my leg.
That's great.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw it back to Foster to wrap us up.
I would just like to thank everyone for taking the time again. This last section here was really interesting for me to listen to and hear what other nonprofits are saying. I think Mario, you did your comments really resonated with me. Paul, yours did as well. And I appreciate the time that you spent with us. This I think for as a board member, and I think John would probably agree, these conversations energize me so that I want to continue to work with Blossom and help the nonprofit sector here in our state. We have a lot of things going on at any given time, but for me personally, this is just one more reason that I love working with Idaho Partners for Good and Blossom and everybody else that is on this board. So thank you just from myself and from the rest of the board members. We appreciate you.
And we're ending early, which never happens. So if you do want to stay on, especially for our nonprofit partners, if there's something that you need a little bit of thought partnership on, we've got a few minutes here. Stay on, and we are happy to help you solution. So with that, thank you to everyone, and go out and let the ripple effect take hold.
Thanks, Blossom.
Thank